Yo guys, welcome to ShayanGaming to the best ADC guide on earth. The first step is copy and paste ADC and you win. GG. Yo guys, so on a real note, this video is basically me discussing my laning strategies as an ADC and kind of like the systematic things I do every time. So the very first thing I do is just line this up, imagine it's Worlds 2015 World Championship and you're like, oh, they're doing their swaps after their champion select. Yeah, our game had a bit of a connection problem. It didn't really load for anyone, so that's going to be a problem. But anyways, we're just making our assumptions of who's bot lane and stuff. So the very first thing is you do that, and then the first thing I do is I kind of think of what's all like the worst possible scenario right now that could happen. Well, Draven can throw his auto attack, that's not a problem. Lux can basically, let's say, stun, so we want to kind of keep that much distance away because that's the distance of stunning. And then Nautilus can throw the grab. I'm just thinking about all the things that could happen right now, level 1. And then Shen, oh wait, why is Shen there? What am I doing? Wrong way around. And then Singe can TP. But that's pretty much it. We haven't really got much threat. But for example, the reason you want to do that is in case there's a Blitzcrank, then I wouldn't be standing here because Blitz could come here and grab me. But because there isn't, I know that I can stand here safely. So this is like sort of stuff we do. Let me just help him out. It was obviously, I just hit him a couple of times, about 3 times or something. And then come back to lane. The good thing is they did update the lane thing, so like one of your minions won't get just completely wrecked, like it's all balanced and stuff. So the very first thing I do is I push as fast as I can the first 3 melee minions and leave the last 3 mage ones to kind of just like last hit them. The reason for this is so that I don't push too much, because what happens is when the next wave comes after those melee minions, those 3, that's when you get to level 2, and if I push too much then they're basically already under their tower, and if we were to zone them we'll be right next to their tower, which is kind of risky. But if we don't take minions 4, 5, 6, which are the mage ones, and just leave it, we basically hit level 2 while we're kind of in the middle of the bot lane. So what that means is we can properly zone them. And usually what I do is after I've basically got to level 2 and started zoning them and the wave's kind of pushing towards their tower, that's when I kind of safely go and ward the bush. And by the time you've pushed to level 2, that might be when a jungler might come and gank, so it's always good to have it there. So one interesting tip about warding, basically if the enemy jungler is someone who can like gap close, so basically someone like Echo who can jump over the wall over here, then this is where you're going to want to put your ward. But if it's someone else who doesn't have a gap close, for example Rammus and Sion, yeah, it used to be a thing, Sion jungle a while ago, but like someone who can like, you need more time to react because they have extra movement speed and they can come really quickly towards you, then you're going to want to ward here. You also get vision of dragon as well, which is awesome. Another thing, now this is mainly about your support, but if the enemy jungler or someone in the enemy team, for example if it's Shaco or Rengar, someone who goes invisible, you're going to want to get a vision ward. And even if they're not, you still want to get a vision ward. It just helps out a lot. And obviously if you're on this side of the map, you'll want to put the vision ward here, because it's unlikely for them, your enemy team, the enemy bot lane, to come there and take it unless you're like backed and they're really pushed in. And if you're on the other team and you want to put it over here, it's really good for like if someone's coming to gank you, such as Rengar, you can see where they are and it really helps out. Now once you've pushed them in a bit, this is where you can basically relax. This is called the relaxing stage that I call it. So instead of having to focus on pushing your minions and not really being able to focus as much on poking the enemy ADC, you just need to last hit your minions, so you don't need to like poke your minions. And every time you see the enemy ADC basically go for a last hit, it will be obvious, like you'll see one of your minions go low health and you can predict that they're going to last hit it. That's when you poke them, and if you're Lucian then obviously you can Q them and then double tap them to get your mastery off as well. So that's basically the best way to poke someone when they're going for a last hit. It's what mid laners do all the time. So we're pushing so that this wave gets into the turret, they lose coins, they lose gold and experience. And one of the main advantages of making the enemy ADC and bot lane lose XP is obviously because of the new changes. If your team's average level was higher than the enemy team's, then your minions get stronger and they take less damage from the enemy's minions. So obviously doing this means you basically increase your chances of winning because your minions will be able to push harder and you can get the turret quicker. So yeah, another thing, really important tip is you always want to, once you're in lane at the very beginning, think about the other lanes, like the enemy lanes, and what could happen. So Singe just top with TP. If Singe goes missing, you need to, first of all, you obviously always need to be looking at the map. Don't rely on people SSing because, trolls and, well, not trolls, but if people don't SS, you can't blame them. You do need to pay attention to the map and stuff. So the very first thing is Singe is gone right now. He could TP, take that into account. Obviously you can look at their wards. If they haven't got any wards, then, and you know that for a fact, then there's no worry. And then Nautilus could come with his grab, so you do want to ward, but Nautilus is on the map at top, so we can save it for now. There's no point wasting it. And then Lux, if she goes missing off the map, she could roam down and stun or whatever. And then yeah, if they had an exhaust, you can take that into account. But they have ignite, so it's fine. So this is all we need to know. So every time I press tab, if someone's missing, I can know that they might TP bot or something, or they're roaming, or I can just look at the map, I can see he's missing, so I know to take that into account that he might TP. And that's pretty much it. That really helps you like not get ganked, and it really just helps in general. And another interesting thing is, if it's like solo queue and you're not that high elo, usually what happens is the supports don't actually know how to help the ADC under turret, so they don't know to like, you know, hit the mage minions once if they're full health, so that the ADC can actually boss hit it. And what that means is, if you push the enemy ADC into their turret and their support doesn't know how to do that, they are going to lose experience, which is really good for you. So that's one reason to kind of keep the minions pushed to their turret. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like, that would be totally awesome. And subscribe if you haven't already to stay updated with future League videos and other videos that I'll be doing. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Adios.